God, that's sharp, that is. I was just going to do I was going to have a little sip of that and then just stop the music and start to, oh, it was quite sharp. Oh, raw boost. Great taste. Well, I don't believe in all those awards, but I'm not even gonna shill the brand unless they pay me. I don't know. Raw boost. It's a bit sharp actually. Not really sharp, but a bit sour. Berries and that. How are you? You good? Let's put on the background music. Let's stop messing around. Tonight on the show, what we're doing is, of course, the Ghislaine Maxwell interview that we've been doing before. The, what would you call it? The prison interview, the one that she did, that she got her, you know, she got put in the, I'm trying to do two things at once now. Hang on. There's the background music. Yeah, that's the background. Right, got the background music, and we've been listening to this Bombshell DOJ interview between Ghislaine Maxwell and the Department of Justice. I keep saying the FBI or the police, Department of Justice. And they basically done the interview, and then she's got to go to lovely Florida prison. Like, she was in difficult prison before, now she's in lovely prison. They've got a spa and they've got like yoga. I don't know about a spa. They've got yoga. So she's having fun. She's all right. And she's been dropping a few funny comments in the interview. There's a few bits and pieces. You've been spotting some lies. Big up you in chat. Shout out to Acoustic Gymnastics. Shout out to Angel Alfie. Big up to ACW. So like lots of interesting stuff to come as well. We've got the second half, and she's not even got talking about Trump much, but she was just got talking about some pretty rare stuff in the last one. We left it on a bombshell. We left it on a cliffhanger. I can't remember what the cliffhanger was, but we left it on a cliffhanger. And then, obviously, if you're watching this channel, you're probably saying to yourself, but Scott, just like that. But Scott, are you saying it like that though? Are you saying it like that? But Scott, what? But Scott, your cameras are all messed up for this. I know we're in widescreen now. You haven't set it up for widescreen. I know. But Scott, that's me. Peter Folding's done another podcast. He's on the podcast. He's on the podcast. He's on a podcast. Peter Folding's done another one of those podcasts, and he now reckons that his evidence is good again, and he's got an expert from America that he said he was going to get. And is that a private company or is it an independent expert? I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet. But Scott, me, you're supposed to do all the looking into Peter Folding. I'll look into him. Yeah, I will. I'll have a look. We'll look at what Peter Folding's been doing that's either naughty or not naughty, if you like. Hang on, I can't put my face in the frame properly. In focus, out of focus. We'll look at what, will we? Yes, but not today. No? What we're going to do is we're going to carry on with the Ghislaine Maxwell interview. I want to do it all in one successive series of streams. Yeah? Yeah, I do. But Scott! Shut up, you. Who do you think you are? Right, so that's what's going to happen. It's been determined by the conversation there. You don't get a poll. But if this stream gets, I don't know how many likes it needs to get. What should we say? 50 likes? Should we say 50 likes? If this stream gets 50 likes, I will guarantee you Peter Folding by the end of the week. How about that? Don't like to make promises I can't keep. But I'll guarantee, we'll do this stream. It's Tuesday, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday if we have to. But Friday, Peter Folding, or Thursday Peter Folding maybe, if we can get through some of this. Also, Birmingham is on the telly, the football, the Birmingham game, and that's on at 7:45, and it's already 6:30, so I'm going to miss some of it. You have to appreciate the fact that I'm going to miss some of it. Yeah, I do the things I do for you, which is generally come on streams and have a chit chat and a laugh, and sometimes some serious bits. So should we kick off? Should we get going? Should we see what Ghislaine's got to say without further ado, or don't? Or do you mind if I just get round there? Thank you. Because what else do you want? What else do you want? Do you want Ghislaine? Do you want to get Ghislaine going? Let's get Ghislaine going. Should we get Ghislaine going? See what she was saying last week. Oh no, there is one more thing. Last episode of this was on Thursday. Ghislaine was talking about Amelia Earhart, and that was so weird. And I was like, why is she talking about Amelia Earhart? And we looked into it a little bit on the stream, and it turned out she'd done this scheme with some investment in the South Pacific, looking for Amelia Earhart's last location as like an explorer thing, and it was also about the international waters that are not policed and the oceans, and that whole scheme, it was called Terra Mar, that never ended up happening. She never went to look for Amelia Earhart in the end. I found that out. But we looked at what she was saying about it. It was interesting stuff. Very strange that it came up. And then Trump has brought it up only the other day, September the 26th. Only the other day. So weird. It was like after we looked at it on the stream and it came up, and I was like, why Amelia Earhart? This is so weird. She's talking about that, Ghislaine Maxwell. Trump was talking about it then. So weird. So weird. America, release the Epstein files. Trump, did you say Amelia Earhart? I've been asked by many people about the life and times of Amelia Earhart. Such an interesting story. I said such an interesting story. A great story. If they had me telling the story, people are saying if they had me telling the story, it would have been the best story ever told. People are saying if I told the story, it would be the best story ever told.
They should have got me to tell the story. And would I consider declassifying and releasing everything about her, in particular her last fatal flight? She was an aviation pioneer, the first woman to fly solo. I said the first woman. If they'd have had me as the president back then, many women would have flown solo before. She was the first woman. Sleepy Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe couldn't get her across the Atlantic. She had to do it herself. She was the first woman, a pioneer, and she achieved many other aviation firsts, in inverted commas. She disappeared in the South Pacific while trying to become the first woman to fly around the world. Amelia made it almost 3/4 around the world before she suddenly and without notice vanished. They're saying if I'd been the president, she'd have made it all the way around the world. She'd have made it round twice. They're saying if I'd been the president, she'd have made it around twice. That's all I'm hearing. We're a great. Anyway, he's ordering his administration to declassify and release all the government records related to Amelia Earhart. That's weird, isn't it? Because Ghislaine Maxwell was into that as well. But not the Epstein files anyway. But like, it's a weird thing. And we're going to have to look into that at some point. But we're not looking into it right now. Okay, we're going to go on with this. How does that sound? That sounds great. Shut up.
I think that's just given what you just said about Bill Barr, but did you ever hear any from Mr. Epstein or anybody else that Bill Barr had any role in Mr. Epstein getting a good plea deal in Florida or any role in that process with Mr. Acosta?
I never heard that.
I think you said this in an interview, but if I'm wrong, forgive me. Do you have a view of Mr. Epstein, of whether he committed suicide or whether something else happened?
Ooh, that's juicy. We're going to get straight into it then, aren't we? Ooh, except we've already done like 12 minutes of the stream. Oh, he keeps talking. Yeah, it's my show. If you don't like it, fast forward through the bits when I'm talking later, or just like it and deal with it, because like there are different kinds of things. And if you just want to hear this interview nice and clean, without any audio interference, become a member of the channel. At the end of us reviewing it, I will make it live for members of the channel, because I've cleaned up the audio so it's tolerable. Unlike those other terrible uploads of the audio which are awful in the news media, I've cleaned it up. So once we've done all the interview overview, then I'll make it available to members as a little treat. How about that?
Can we take a break?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can take a break. Yeah, sure. Actually, it's a good time to take a break anyway, because this will be the last one of the day.
All right, so we're going to take a break at it's 2:53, Thursday, July 24th. We are continuing with the recorded proffer of Ms. Maxwell. The time is now 3:10 p.m., Thursday, July 24th.
It's really interesting they take the break before the big question, but they ask the big question before the break. So now Ghislaine gets to go and have lunch with her lawyers. Presumably the break involves her talking to her lawyers. Yeah? Like they might have some food and a nice like cup of tea, but they're going to talk, aren't they? So the next question is going to be about this, and here's all the papers, and like she's going to be briefed, isn't she? She's going to be ready.
My colleagues alerted me to a couple questions I think I may have forgotten to ask you. One is... Sorry, I'm just going through my notes. Well, we talked a few minutes ago about this birthday book that there's been press about. I understand you don't remember anything with President Trump, or a lot about the book anyway. Do you remember asking President Trump to submit a letter for that?
I do not.
And do you remember, would you have been the one to do that, or would somebody else have done that?
I did ask some people. I don't remember Mr. Trump. I don't remember who I did ask, but Epstein also asked people himself directly.
Okay.
So it could have happened that way, if it happened at all.
Well, it did happen, didn't it? Because you said in the last episode, as part of like, not so long ago in the same day, as far as the DOJ are concerned, she said that to construct the Epstein birthday book, basically Epstein himself, she reckoned, took over most of it, but it involved contacting all the people that were going to put submissions through for the book and asking them for submissions. So it's unlikely that they would have had submissions that weren't requested.
I'm trying to find on that guy. Where is that?
You mentioned Ehud Barak.
Yes.
What was his involvement?
This would have been in the later 2000s, so I do not know how they met, but I do know that they, I don't know if friendly would be the right word, I don't know that, but I know that they saw each other, and only because my father, you know, anything that touches Israel or the state of Israel, I'm always interested in, because my father loved Israel, and so I pay attention to it, and we have ties to, you know, to Israel.
When you said it was later, though,
Ties meaning friends and family relations.
was the
Sorry.
prominent was Mr. Brock, Prince Brock.
It's an interesting thing to throw up, isn't it? Because, you know, this whole Epstein saga, in a way, the what would you call it? The international espionage, the supplying secrets or blackmailing people, or, you know, ties to Israel. That stuff gets sort of pushed down a bit behind, like, he was a bad sex offender. I mean, obviously he was a bad sex offender, but like, it gets pushed down a bit behind that sex offendery stuff, doesn't it? And like what's going on right now with Trump and the world, like, Israel's a huge part of the politics, isn't it? And she is, her family, all those ties, friendly, like, if she wasn't in prison, you might think that there was some, I mean, I don't know, it's just like an interesting thing to throw up in the air there, isn't it? Like, she's a valuable asset in some ways to people who are interested in Israel.
Do you know what the nature of his relationship was with Mr. Epstein?
I don't.
Do you know, were you ever with them together?
I think I have a memory of meeting Ehud, but I don't know if he was with Epstein or, I don't remember. I just know that I did see him, and I'm struggling to remember the context around it. But I'm sure it happened, but it must have been very brief, because I don't have any serious memory of it, any like deep memory of it.
And maybe this is obvious.
And maybe it comes also because I've read it in the press, that maybe something that brought it to my memory. So that's also, I mean, I think the press has been very contaminating. So it's hard sometimes to separate those stories from, you know, your memory sometimes.
Do you know a British gymnast by the name of Heather Mann?
Yes.
Did she?
I didn't know she was a gymnast.
Oh, okay. I'm reading something that says she was a gymnast, but
Okay.
Please don't assume that that's correct.
Okay.
Based upon my words.
Okay.
Did she ever travel with you and/or Mr. Epstein?
Yeah, she did actually. I think that she might have been one of Mr. Epstein's girlfriends at some point.
What? Again, I know we're talking about time periods that are vast. What time period would that have been? Like after you, like since 2000?
I want to say, I don't know, could be the 90s, I don't know. But I mean, listen, there are people that pop out of the woodwork all the time. I just saw one on TV saying she was his girlfriend in 93 and 94. So, I mean, he obviously was very busy.
Where she's lying.
Well, there's that.
Did someone named Mark Middleton?
Yes, I
Who's
remember
that?
him. He was in the Mr. Clinton's administration, President Clinton's administration, I think.
And how?
Sorry, I just said big ups, Tappy. Nice to see you. Big ups, Steve. Still stuck on a cactus. Big ups, Lisa Marie. She's very happy again to bring up Clinton, isn't she? She's very happy again. Like, Clinton's name thrown up in the air all the time. When it comes to Donald Trump, we say nothing.
Do you know him?
Well, I met him, and I met him through Mr. Epstein.
And was he, from what you observed, was he a friend or business acquaintance with Mr. Epstein?
I mean, I only saw him a handful of times, but I did see him with him. I mean, he seemed friendly. I don't know if I would carry.
And this is a bit of a chuffer as well, because I left the last episode like it's going to be a big bombshell. They asked her what happened when he committed suicide. Do you think he killed himself? And she said, and then they said, let's go for a break, actually. Should we go for the lawyers want to have a quick break. And then they come back from the break, and that question about Jeffrey Epstein and what happened to him, it's kind of just gone by the wayside. I'm assuming they're going to get back to it, though.
Characterized. I mean, only having seen him briefly, I don't know how to characterize that.
Do you know whether he flew on airplanes with Mr. Epstein? Did he visit the island? Do you know anything about that or their relationship as it relates to that?
I don't have any recollection of seeing Mark Middleton at the island.
How about former U.S. Senator George Mitchell?
Yeah, I do remember George.
What do you remember about him?
I travelled with him. We went to the most memorable day. I went to. Well, I was friendly with his wife. Start with that, with Heather. And Heather was in New York, so I hung out with her a few times. We had dinners, and I was just friendly, I would say. Separately from her husband, and was friends with Heather. I met Heather through her husband, but we became friends.
You became friends with Heather.
Yes.
Was Mr. Epstein friends with Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Did they travel together besides New York? Did they travel to the island or to New Mexico?
I don't remember George ever at the island, but the most memorable trip I do recall with Senator was to Italy.
Was to where?
To Italy.
Ah, okay.
We went to Rome.
As the four of you?
Sounds lovely.
So Heather and Mr. Mitchell and you and Mr. Epstein?
That's my recollection.
And
You'd remember, wouldn't you, though, because you were in Rome? I just suppose she goes everywhere. She can't remember.
what were you there for?
Well, the most memorable aspect of that trip is we went to the Vatican. It was extraordinary. And the most extraordinary thing was going to the archives and holding Henry VIII's document to the Pope.
What? What? Like, sometimes some of the stuff she says, like, I know she lives a different life to the rest of us, doesn't she? She lived a different life. She was brought up in fantastic wealth. Her father, for whatever reasons, whatever was going on in his life, did provide her with like a very good, whatever ways he accumulated that wealth, he provided her with a very good start in life. She went to lovely schools. She went to the top university. You have to be academic enough to qualify to get in there, but it does help if you go to like this private school set to get in with the in crowd and all that. While she was there, she had these socialite parties and following in her father's footsteps in a way, social butterfly, bringing people together in the parties, who knows. And since then, she's revealed in this though, like, I thought it was all just like oysters and champagne and like, hanging out with posh people and, sex crimes. Maybe a bit of taking a photograph of someone doing a massive line and like, getting them in the toilets with a young girl and taking a photograph of them. We've got you now. Do what we say. What do you want us to do? Just give us money, I suppose, so we can go on the yacht and, carry on. But it's more than that, isn't it? It's like such a weird, like, she's now, like, in the last bit, when she was saying about her penchant for exploring, which meant that she had a submarine license or whatever. She was like a qualified submarine captain, like all this other stuff. And now, like, it's not just like a sort of, like, there's, how do I describe it? Like, elitism and privilege affords you a certain lifestyle, of course. And then you get to mix with like different people, not just the hoi polloi, don't you? But then going to the Vatican, she didn't mention anything about being religious, really. Jeffrey Epstein's not supposed to be particularly Catholic, I don't think. But they've gone to the Vatican. And like, you'd think when you go to the Vatican, the main thing would be the Pope and Jesus and stuff like that as well. Which I suppose it kind of is. But like, they've gone to who goes to the Vatican and then gets to handle... Why would you need to handle it as well? Don't they keep these things behind glass? The document that King Henry VIII sent to the Pope. Like, what's going on? You wouldn't even think she'd be interested in that. It's like a weird thing that I like, because we were looking just at the start as well, weren't we? Like, in the last interview section of this interview that we watched, she mentioned Amelia Earhart and her wanting to go to the South Pacific, and like, then Donald Trump tweeted about it a few weeks later. I'm wondering at what point is King Henry VIII's linked to the Pope? I mean, what he... Oh, no. Okay, so what King Henry VIII did is he sent a letter to the Pope to say fuck you, didn't he? I mean, I don't know what's in it. I'm not that educated on that sort of history. Well, I'll have to ask Chat GPT. I'm going to have to. I need to know. What was in the famous letter that King Henry the, I'll write it in letters, EITA, sent to the Pope, ? Just the overall context, please. Grok, thanks. He sent a letter to Pope Clement VII, primarily to press for an annulment of his marriage. I was going to say, it's to go against the Pope, isn't it? Like, he's sending this letter to the Pope to say, fuck you, Pope. I don't want any more of your popery. Stop poping around me. Take your fucking pointy hat and fuck off back to Italy. This is England. And I'm the king, and I'm divine. Like, I'm the king, so God has made me the king. I'm basically half God anyway. You're just the Pope, right? You're just the guy who reckons he loves God the most, or whatever, or God's chosen. God's actually made me divine. I'm above you, so shut up, Pope. I'm having it my way, like at BK. I'm having a great big chicken leg for my dinner. The letter signed by Henry and supported by numerous English nobles, clergy and prominent figures, otherwise they'd have their heads cut off, argued that marriage was invalid due to Catherine's poor marriage to Henry's brother Arthur, which they claimed violated biblical law. Henry sought the annulment to marry Anne Boleyn, motivated by his desire for a male heir and his growing affection for Anne. The letter was a bold assertion of Henry's authority, reflecting his frustration with the Pope's delays. Influenced by political pressures from Emperor Charles V, Catherine's nephew, it hinted at England's potential break from papal authority, foreshadowing the English Reformation and the establishment of the Church of England. Ooh, it was Popsic. I'm trying to say Brexit with Pope on the front. Popesic. Brexit, Popesic. But it needs an X. Pexit. It was Pexit. He wrote the letter, but what's interesting about that to me, in context with Ghislaine, Maxwell and Epstein, whomever, is that, like, the Catholic Church, the big Jesus controlling, empire at the time, the Catholic Church, both controlling in terms of like social control, but also controlling in terms of like, people believed in Jesus so much that they would do what they were told, that was like the thing. And then like this is like a sort of subversive, I mean, England still a huge nation state, and like I said, the king divine, but it's a big political upheaval, rocking of the boat, going against the established authority, like a fight between the elites, if you know what I mean. Like, it's the sort of like heavy high politics of its day, like it's in that way, isn't it? So like, if you go to the Vatican and you're there because like, oh my God, like literally God, like, all the Vatican and the Pope, and thank you for touching my face, and like, when Kate McCann went to the Vatican. Stop. But when if you go to the Vatican and it's all that, and then like you buy a little Jesus and a little Mary and you put them on your dashboard and you take that home and give that to your nan. I bought you a little Virgin Mary from Rome. The Pope's touched it, nan. There you go. Give this water to our auntie and see if it can help with a lumbago. Like, that sort of thing makes sense. But like, to go there and to in some way, like, it's British history, so maybe that was brought out for her because Ghislaine, look, here's some British history. You're British, but like, it's a piece of history that represents a dysfunction, a break away from the church, and a sort of fingers up to it. Like, it's a really sort of like, if you were into Catholicism and the like, if you were into that sort of stuff, you'd see this as a sort of negative document, wouldn't you? That bad English people form their own church and split off, and like there's ups and downs to it. There's like different sort of context to it that, I don't know, it just like, it's weird. Like, her interest and the thing that she's brought up and spoken about is like kind of I don't know what the word is. Like, it shows a slightly different, more, I don't want to say sinister. I don't really want to say sinister. But like a strange edge to her visit, doesn't it? Like, I don't know anyone else who's ever sort of gone to the Vatican and come away. Well, I don't know anyone else who's been to the Vatican, but usually they're into the Pope and the religion, and usually they're not into like the deep history of the fragmenting of that religion and the, you know, that sort of stuff. But maybe it's fair enough because it's British history and it's just something interesting. Anyway, sorry, I don't know why I'm making so much of it. I just found it really interesting that she'd gone to the Vatican. Like, oysters and champagne is one thing, but yes, we went and visited the Vatican on our holidays, and they got the things out, the exhibits, and I got to touch it, and it's this bad thing, right?
Extraordinary. And the most extraordinary thing was going to the archives and holding Henry VIII's document to the Pope, asking for his divorce.
Do you know the former president of Colombia, Andres Pastrana?
Yes.
How do you know him?
The Americans didn't give a shit about Henry VIII's divorce and what it means to the church, and heretics and antithetical and any deeper subtext than that. Forget your Bohemia Grove. What about this Colombian dude?
I met Andres Pastrana in a pub in Dublin.
And did he travel with Mr. Epstein that you know?
I don't know if I don't know if he was ever on the plane. I don't think he ever came to the island. But I went 2 places with Andres Pastrana. One was to Colombia, and Epstein came to that, and the other was to Cuba, and Epstein was there, and Pastrana was there.
And what were the purposes of traveling to Colombia than Cuba?
I'm a helicopter pilot, and Andres is a helicopter pilot. And
I'm a helicopter pilot. Like, something's going different. Like, something about what she does in her life is so different to the way that the I suppose it could be our fault. I mean, my fault if I'm talking about my feelings and thoughts. But like, you just make assumptions, don't you, that she lives a fairly socialite lifestyle, and she did, you know, the socialising with all the, you know, and all the parties and this and that. Like, so where does helicopter pilot come in? But she's just, like, you've got to be careful as well, because, like, Ghislaine Maxwell is just as accomplished as many other people who might even, I don't know, work in the Secret Service or something. Like, she can fly helicopters, she can do submarines, she's going out to Colombia. It's not all wallpaper, is it? It's not all posh wallpaper. Hiring the massage, like, you know, Jeffrey Epstein said that she was so she was so important to his business affairs, to the running of the households, his property empire, that even when they broke up as a couple, she had to stay on working for him at £250,000 a year, pounds, I don't know. But like, her skill set and the things that she's doing are like way outside of the ballpark of just going around and doing the houses and, you know, choosing the wallpaper and making sure that the cleaners turn up on time.
And we just became friends, and I flew a Black Hawk in Colombia.
And how about to Cuba?
Sorry, I got to stop pausing it. A Black Hawk. We have a Black Hawk down. This is Kilo 11. This is Kilo 11. We have a Black Hawk down. We have a Black Hawk down. A Black Hawk. You are seriously telling me that you, like, that's, not only is it weirdly impressive, but slightly scary as well. I'm going to show for Black Hawk Down. Obviously, it's going to get us copyright. And it's like, oh, Black Hawk Down. But, like, you know, it's how can I talk about Black Hawk helicopters without looking at some Black Hawk Down, which is a fucking banger of a film. An absolute banger. Proper banger of a film. This is Kilo 11. Request permission to move to crash site number 2 on foot. Over. Proper banger of a film. That's the Black Hawk Down. It's not down yet. It's about to go down. They're up there in the... That's the Black Hawk. Look what kind of helicopter it is. They're firing a missile at it. Look what kind of helicopter it is. Who's got a Black Hawk in Colombia? For what reason? How are you getting a go on it like a pleasure ride? They use it in the army for all the... Look, it's him, Matt Damon's friend. Is it Matt Damon or his friend? I don't know. Look, they're in the Black Hawk. They're Marines. I don't get it. I went to Harrods. I had some oysters. Posh champagne. I'm eating the caviar. You don't get to do that, you shit muncher. She's posh. Flying a Black Hawk is another level of weird, elitist... like, you could have a specific interest. You could be really interested in helicopters and find a way to get yourself to fly a Black Hawk, even as a layman, I assume. But maybe, I don't know, how many privately owned Black Hawks are there? It's just another world, like a strange world that she keeps just accidentally or deliberately alluding to that I just can't... Like, there's so much to unpack with Ghislaine. Like, there's so much to unpack.
I have a friend of mine who was the cigar distributor for Monte Cristos, maybe. I can't remember which cigar it was. And so we went there. And
So cigar distribution now sounds tame, doesn't it? It sounds tame compared to flying a Black Hawk. But if you're a big cigar distributor in Colombia, Cuba, distributor, cigars, South America, flying a helicopter, a gunship helicopter, no, a Black Hawk. I suppose you need protection for your cigar empire.
Organised the trip, and we met Fidel Castro.
When was that approximately?
She just said she met Fidel Castro. Oh my God.
Had to be 2002, 2003.
Okay.
Something like that, I think.
There's some more names that we might talk about tomorrow with the same type of questions. But
I don't want questions about names where she just says, yeah, I met them. Yeah, but actually she reveals some weird shit when she's talking about them. Fidel Castro now. I want you to go back to the Epstein stuff, you know, the bad stuff, and does she think he got murdered? But she's not going to do that, is she? I think that question's going to be off the table now. We'll have to wait till the end. You know, I can't confirm it, but if they don't ask her again what happened to Jeffrey, I'll be disappointed. That one might have got eaten by the lawyers.
as far as a catch-all, there's been a tremendous amount of public information about all kinds of names, including some of the folks we talked about today, and their relationship with Mr. Epstein and or you. For any of the folks that we've talked about today, did you observe them doing anything improper with Mr. Epstein, whether with masseuses or with women who are girls?
Yeah, I saw saw Fidel Castro having a massage.
Who were traveling or at the residence that they were at or at the parties that they were at.
I did not ever at any time see that.
And for any of the names we've talked about today, and then tomorrow we'll talk about some more, but for today, do you recall having any conversations with anybody else where they reported to you that they had seen something that one of these individuals had done, whether someone else that works with Mr. Epstein or somebody that observed something?
If anybody had ever reported anything, first of all, the answer to that is no. And also, I just want to be clear that had anybody ever reported anything illegal or disgusting like that, I would have immediately done something. And I never heard it. I never saw it.
No doubt you'd have done something, but would you have done the right thing? No doubt if they reported to you that there was illegal activity happening in your operation, you would definitely have done something. Please dig into what it is she would have done.
And no one ever complained to me, or tears, nothing like that.
Okay. All right. So we took a break when we were talking about Mr. Epstein and his death. Oh, bless you. That's okay. Take your time. So,
Was she laughing then or crying or something? Like something happened and he said, take your time. Would she just spill a drink? Like, I'll tell you what is a little bit weird to me, that like they brought up his death before and they went for a break, so you didn't get to hear much of it. But this is supposed to be her long-term partner, someone she spent a lot of her life with, that even after they broke up, she was happy to still work with for the tune of 250,000 a year. But surely when it comes up and stuff, it should be something that gives her emotional, like, you know, traumatic response, like trouble. She wouldn't be laughing and having a whoops anyway. But I don't know because can't see, can we? Can't see the video, but
Mr. Epstein and his death. So you were not obviously at the MCC during that time, correct?
Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Thought you were giving it to me.
I think I've got something blew up my nose.
So just take some water. It's okay. No problem. You were not at the MCC during that time, correct?
I was not.
So you're going to tell us what you believe, but I just want to make sure I understand. Your basis for belief is kind of what you've read and seen and your knowledge of Mr. Epstein for the many years you knew him, right?
And actually, there's a third component.
Okay.
The answer to that is yes. And
Okay.
there's a third component,
Mhm.
which is having experienced now the mismanagement and inefficiencies and total dereliction of duty at the Bureau of Prisons.
From BOP, from the Bureau of
Yes.
Prisons. Okay, fair. Okay, so, you know, what I do want to be careful about is, you know, asking you to speculate because anybody can do that, and I don't think that's fair to you or anybody else to ask you to give us your kind of opinion. But do you think that the third point you say, which is kind of a failure by the BOP, there's an OIG report, there's an SDNY investigation about that. You think he did not die by suicide, given all the things we just talked about?
I do not believe he died by suicide, no.
And do you believe that, do you have any speculation?
what a fucking mental thing for her to say. I mean, presumably this whole thing has been to exonerate Trump because she's got her movement out. Like, you know, you just follow the money, don't you? Like, she did this, then Donald Trump moved her to a more comfortable prison, and this was to make, like, instead of releasing the Epstein files like everyone wants, he said, what I'll do is I'll get Ghislaine to say I'm not in them, and then, like, as her part of the deal, she gets a cushy ride in prison, can't let her out. He could pardon her, but he's, you know, can't politically pardon her right now, but she'll get the cushy ride, he'll get the exoneration, you know, he's not in the files, and we can all, like, he hopes, you know, move on, sort of thing. So as part of that, you would think that following the official narrative would be on the cards, that she would say, yeah, I think he did, let's move on. Like, you know, just easier then, isn't it? I'm surprised that she is saying no, because that then again, maybe I'm not surprised. Now I think about it, I was going to say, because that then means that there has to be someone who did it. You know, now we have to be talking about espionage. Now we have to be talking about, like, victims and therefore offenders, and you know what I mean? Like, you have to point some fingers. But that's not been a problem for her, has it? During this whole interview, every now and then she's had a list of names, fingers have been pointed, and it felt, like I said, like someone had given her a list almost, because she had to refer to it. Like, it wasn't just out of her head, or maybe she said, I wrote this down so I could remember it better. But you know, if you're on the phone to someone and someone starts saying names, you say, hang on, let me write this down, I'll do a list, you know. Felt like she had a list of names, people that she's quite prepared to throw shade at, and it now wouldn't surprise me that instead of saying, no, I think he did it himself, let's just close that book and never talk about it again, she's quite happy to leave an open door. Because now, like, if you're on her blacklist and she's got a little bit of something on you, you could be put in the frame for this. Like, if you're big and weird, like, you know, one of these big players, or she could be, like, you know, politically wanting to put this onto someone, and that gives her a sort of leverage and power now, doesn't it? Her opinion about who really killed Epstein is like, you know, and if she's got any evidence that she can put on the table, which she probably won't hear, but like that, it all goes out the window if you say that he did it himself, doesn't it? So like, whether the problem is for me, whether she believes he did or he didn't, it's in her best interest to say that he didn't. It's in her best interest to say he was murdered, because then she can use that. Whether she's going to tell the truth about who did or didn't do it, or put someone in the frame or whatever, you know, that sort of leverage, that sort of espionage she can use. Whereas if she just toes the party line, no political party, I'm saying, just, you know, toes the line, and so to speak, and says, yeah, I think he did it himself. It's a closed book, and she is no longer, she's no longer an asset in that conversation. And also, it's her leverage, isn't it? No, I think someone did it. I won't tell you because it protects me to not tell you. It's getting me a nice prison cell in a nice cushy prison, isn't it? If I tell you, then that nice prison thing might go away. That leverage, that thing I have, like, might go away. So, yeah, it's like very difficult to trust her answer, even this answer. But I'm surprised. Initially, I was surprised she didn't just clear it all off the table and say, we're not talking about that. I think he did it himself at the end. But instead, she's left this door open. But now I fully understand why now. So,
believe that. Do you have any speculation or view of who killed him?
No, I don't.
And I ask that because if you don't believe that there's any truth to the allegations of blackmail, or that he had kind of a list, or that he had reasons to have people hate him, why would somebody kill him in prison?
Well, in prison, where I am, they will kill you, or they will pay, somebody can pay a prisoner to kill you for $25 worth of commissary is about the going rate for a hit with a lock today.
So that goes to the third reason, which is kind of the mismanagement,
Yes.
or the shortfallings or shortcomings of the Bureau of Prisons.
So, do you think Epstein killed himself? No. Do you think someone particular did it? Do you have an idea of who did it? No. Bearing in mind that you've said that, like, he's not doing any blackmail and he's not got any enemies, why do you think someone might be so cross as to kill him? Because in prison, it doesn't cost a lot to kill someone. That's not a direct answer to the question at the end there, but you can infer that she means life is cheap in prison. So it could be, instead of something really important like files and blackmail, it could be that you used the wrong person's towel. You know, it could be a minor. Sorry to use the expression when we're talking about Ghislaine and Epstein, a minor. But the issue there is that he was on, I don't know, was he on like secure unit? Like, was he mixing with lots of people? Did someone pay $25 to have him murdered in prison? If you can pay $25 to have him murdered, he can pay $50 to have protection. I just think it's ridiculous to suggest that simply the state of prisons, like, what it does is, prison being a dangerous place, therefore anything could have happened. Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything did happen, does it? But it muddies the water. It clouds the issue enough for her to just say, no one's ever going to be able to find out. You're never going to know. It's one of those mysteries like Madeleine McCann. You know, if we only had more facts. A bit weird that it happened in a prison with cameras and X, you know, oh, they were asleep, the guards and all. Yeah, if we only had more facts. But things happen in prison, so you'll never know. That's kind of what she's saying about that at the moment. I say at the moment because while she was very clear and very short on that answer, no, she doesn't have any ideas about who did it, it's ridiculous as well, isn't it? Isn't it ridiculous for her, so close to Jeffrey Epstein, to not have any concept of any clue of who might have been angry enough to murder him? Like, she was in all his affairs. She's a socialite. She knows all the people, all the different, you know. She just, when it comes to people who are cross at Jeffrey, she wouldn't know. Can't think. there was that time he parked his car a bit funny, and that man got cross about his car parking, but he didn't know him that well. I can't think if anyone's mad with Jeffrey. You know, that seems weird, doesn't it? So that makes me think, like I said, on all the short answers that she gives, it makes me think she's just, you know, lawyer's short answer, but there's actually more to it that she could expand on. Unfortunately for her, I suppose, and for the rest of us who want the truth, she's just said on record that no. So if she did ever expand on it again, it would make this a kind of lie, and I suppose she's now painted into a corner of never doing that. However, information she has could be leaked. You know, it could be shared in other ways, couldn't it? But I don't think you're going to get Ghislaine Maxwell on record saying anything other than what she's like officially said here when it comes to this. Certainly while she's in prison.
Yes.
Which is a little bit different than my question is, which is
because apparently in prison for £25 worth of super noodles, she could be murdered as well. So, you know.
do you think there's somebody on the outside of prison? So putting aside what could happen on the inside, on the outside of prison, who wanted him dead so badly that he would have, or she would have, you know, caused him to be killed on the inside?
I think that's, I don't see that. I think, is it possible? Of course it's possible, but I don't know of any reason why, and I don't believe in the blackmail or in any of this. I don't think Epstein had a hit on like that. If it is indeed murder, I believe it was an internal situation.
Yeah, so you don't have any reason, first-hand knowledge, or even speculation, it sounds like, to think that that he was killed to kind of silence him or to keep him from going public about people he knew about.
I don't. No, because I think that is just part of the story that's been created that started back in 2008-9.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the point. Like, I don't think there's value in talking. You know, there's been a lot of information about what happened, you know, at the MCC, but what is important to me is whether, you know.
Again, we got laughing there. She went, that's fine. Like, she's not upset. And he said, I don't think there's much value in talking about it, and that was relief. Fucking great. Like, we're not going to talk any more about that. Of course, there's value in talking about it, but she won't allow it to come out.
Is the idea?
I suppose what we can infer, you know, allegedly, in my opinion, is that of course there's value in that. There are people that she's not naming. So she's basically said, yes, I think someone had him murdered. No, I'm not prepared to name them. Like, in legal speak, I can't remember, I don't know. But like, we can infer that what that means is, like, there's like a, you know, like when people say read between the lines or whatever, like sometimes like you can see the shape of something by the hole it leaves. Like in painting and art, like you don't paint the line around something, you paint the shadow behind it and the light in front of it, and it reveals itself. Like, you know, because light is, it doesn't matter what light is, like form and shape, but you know what I mean, like the shadow of something can reveal its shape. Like this is like a hole in the conversation where something else actually fits, but we're not going to get it.
Is whether, you know, if is the idea that he didn't die by suicide, that's one thing, but if to the extent that folks believe that he was murdered to keep him quiet or because he had information on rich and powerful people, do you have any reason to believe that that's true?
I do not. I have any reason to believe that, and I also think it's ludicrous, because I also happen to think if that is what they want.
This is, I'm just going to stop reading tracks there because this is like obviously problematic. I'll say, like, I would red flag it a lie. I do not is a clear denial, and then that's it. You don't have to defend yourself if you're telling the truth, do you? I do not. No. Because you know, it was Auntie Sharon said that, and I've never seen it. You know, that bit is where liars feel required to give more information to bolster their lie. It sounds so fishy to me. Like your instinct for, are they telling me the truth or not? I know you haven't got the body language, you haven't got any of the, you know, you can't do it fully. But if this was a phone call for like something like a job interview, you know, the straight answer would have been fine. But this afterwards is a red flag. It doesn't mean that everyone who's doing that is lying, because sometimes people feel nervous and like there's other reasons for them to want to please the questioner and give more answers. Like if it was a teacher in a pupil situation, the pupil might feel that they're required to give more, you know, so they might try and fill that space. It could be of a confidence issue, but because this is a police interview, prison interview, a DOJ interview, whatever, and she's got the lawyers and she gave the clear lawyer's answer first, I would think that, you know, it's indicative of some issue, like her brain is still ticking after the straight denial. So
Reason to believe that that's true.
I do not have any reason to believe that, and I also think it's ludicrous, because I also happen to think if that is what they wanted, they would have had plenty of opportunity when he wasn't in jail. And if they were worried about blackmail or anything from him, he would have been a very easy target.
what with his 50 houses flying around on a fucking jet and his private security and all these powerful people that he knows, and like you with your contacts, and like he'd have been such an easy target when you've got a Black Hawk. You're flying around in a Black Hawk. No, he's an easier target when he's in a prison cell. He can't go anywhere and escape and do anything about it. And he's got no people around him, and you've got control of everything. And for £25 worth of super noodles, you can have his head bashed in with a sock. By Big Frank. Who's doing 25 to life. No, prison's not safer for someone like Jeffrey Epstein.
In the time, so we've talked about a lot of time all the way up through 2009-10, and then
I think I'm right in saying that, because all the time that he was out of prison, no one murdered him. But then when he went in prison, someone murdered him. So the proof of the pudding is in the being murdered in prison.
the time that after Mr. Epstein was arrested. When's the last time you spoke with him?
Maybe 2016, 2017, maybe 2016, 2015, 2016, 2017, in that area.
What? So I'm just rewinding that one.
After Mr. Epstein, all the way up through 2009. The time, so we've talked about a lot of time all the way up through 2009-10, and then the time that after Mr. Epstein was arrested. When's the last time you spoke with him?
Specifically Epstein, last time you spoke with him, like, she's really vague about it, and it's like ages ago. Surely she spoke to him. I don't know how long this ago, like my brain now, but like she's saying she just stopped contact with him. Like, even Prince Andrew was seen walking around talking to the fucker. She's been manager of all his affairs. She's been his girlfriend. She's done all this stuff together. Like, obviously he's done bad things and been arrested, I guess. Like, but like, officially, she's not on the phone to him. I just find it so weird that, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, just that's it. Never talk to Jeffrey again. I know why she can't. I don't know why she publicly hasn't, but yeah.
Maybe 2016, 2017, maybe 2016, 2015, 2016, 2017, in that area, I believe.
And what, when you're thinking about that last time, was that you had been talking to him a lot and then you stopped, or was that a one-off time and it was infrequent?
I really wasn't in communication. The only communications I had with him was with regards to the civil suits, the civil suit that I found myself in, the defamation suit I found myself in. I needed help. I needed information, and I didn't have what I needed, and so that was really what drove it was me.
You needed Jeffrey's information and help, so you didn't have the information yourself. You needed it from him for your suit. It wasn't the other way around. And in that situation, you are fully indebted to Jeffrey Epstein for your future, then, aren't you? Because, like, you know, like for your, like, if you lose these civil suits and these people prove this stuff on you, like, you know, so whatever Jeffrey Epstein's help is really important to you at the time, and he's the sort of person that uses that against people, isn't he? Like, leverages it. So that must have been a very difficult phone call.
Trying to get myself out of this situation, which I...
Well, maybe they were just really helpful to each other at that point, having sort of broken up, not talked to each other for ages.
Ultimately led to where I am today. And so when...
I suppose, good point, Ghislaine. It ultimately led to you being in prison, so it might not have helped you that much.
I don't remember even if I stopped talking to him before that. I thought he was angry with me anyway. He didn't like what I did, and I wasn't interested in what he had to say to me. And
they've had a proper falling out, huh?
What did you think he was angry with you about?
I think he was angry that I had even said that I had referred to her being a liar. He said I should have not said anything, but...
Oh, no. They haven't had that much fallout then.
When the civil suits that were ongoing before Mr. Epstein's death...
Yes.
Did your lawyers coordinate with his lawyers, like in discovery and things like that? On anything?
I don't think we coordinated in I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't want to misspeak. There was some degree of communication, for sure. I just don't know
Aren't her lawyers sat with her in the room? Can't they answer that for her?
the degree that took place.
Turn off your phone. It's the fucking interview with the DOJ. You're not even supposed to have it, Ghislaine. It's supposed to be hidden up your bum. You're in prison, remember? Ghislaine's mobile goes off. It's not Ghislaine's phone, obviously, is it? The only person in the room who'd have the audacity to leave their ringer on would be the person conducting the interview, surely.
So definitely...
Turn that off. Oh, the professionalism.
I mean, I was definitely hoping for him to be more helpful, and I was definitely... Coordinating is not a good word because that sounds like I was trying to align myself. That's not where we were going here. But I was definitely trying to get help, as in documents or information that I could use to defend myself. That's 100% true. And the degree to which that took place, I don't recall. There was definitely some of that, though. I don't want to mislead you.
And we touched on this earlier, but I just want to. I don't think we really ran it to ground maybe as much as we could. Like going up through that time, you know, so in the 16, 17, 18, up until the time he's arrested, had your view or your understanding of what had happened changed? Meaning, did you believe that in the late 90s or early 2000s when he started, you know, behaving much differently, did you believe what you were hearing about him at that point?
My views, I didn't like the people he was with anyway, so I don't find how do I say this? I like people who my age or older, and I don't find the society of or the companionship of younger people who are younger people, I suppose, really that enjoyable. So I don't like the company that he chose to be with, and so I just find it boring and fundamentally uninteresting. That's probably the nicest way I can say it.
Yeah. Okay. So
Jeffrey Epstein stopped hanging out with all the great and good of the world. Now he just wants to hang out with the young ladies. And she doesn't like that, is what she's saying. She's happier when they're meeting... I wanted to say Gaddafi, but it's not Gaddafi. She's happier when they're seeing... What was his name? Fidel Castro and the Pope. But she's not happy when Jeffrey Epstein's hanging around with a load of young people. Am I quieter? Am I quiet? I had to, maybe I turned myself down a little bit. I don't know. I might turn myself down a little bit. You can always tell me if I'm too quiet. Yeah, good shout. 1, 2, check Chuffy. Well, I am a bit quiet there, aren't I? It's a bit weird. I didn't turn myself down that much. 1, 2, check Chuffy. It won't go up any higher. Maybe my limiter's on. 1, 2, check Chuffy. 1, 2, check. I don't know. I don't know if I've changed anything. I'll turn that off. 1, 2, check Chuffy. That doesn't make a difference. 1, 2, check Chuffy. I haven't got the noise gate on. No compressor.
I think what we should do is just spend a few minutes talking about tomorrow.
Well, we're quite a way into the stream now. We're like an hour in for me to be a bit quiet. I don't know if I changed any settings since the last time, but I can see what you mean. I'll have a work on it.
Everything was great today. I think that it was very helpful, and I appreciate you trying to be as complete as you can. I think tomorrow, you've said a few things today about materials that you brought. When we're done, we'll give you a few minutes with Mr. Marcus to if there's things that you want to show him that you think we should see. Like I said, I'm not asking you to corroborate anything. If I was asking you to corroborate something, I would tell you. But if there's something you think that you don't think that the government has seen, or you think that was important for me to see, let Mr. Marcus know, and he can share it with me.
1, 2, check Chuffy. 1, 2, check Chuffy. I'm checking the microphone. I can't actually turn it up any higher than that. That's weird. So it's some kind of setting.
Tomorrow, we'll certainly have some follow-on questions when we all think about tonight, and I think you will too. You know, we can all think about stuff we've talked about. We covered a lot of different areas. I do want to talk more about you. So by design today, we wanted to focus on Mr. Epstein and talk about, kind of, everything under the sun that we've gone through today. I do think it's important when we all evaluate what you've said today and kind of your story, to also understand why you're here, right? So you were
check.
Indicted, you were charged, you went to trial, and I want to do that in a way that gives you an opportunity to kind of say your piece, or to say what you haven't said before. But also understanding that there was people who took the witness stand and swore to tell the truth and testified about you and what you did and what they think you saw and what they heard you say. And I'm not. I said to Mr. Marcus, I'm not trying to create a kind of a she said situation, or he said she said situation. But I do want to hear from you about your conduct, because it's important, I think, for when we evaluate what you say and how you say it, and your recollection of things, to talk about that. So we'll do that tomorrow. I want to talk about the circumstances leading up to your arrest. There's a lot of, I think, misinformation, or there's a lot of information out there that I don't know whether it's misinformation, but about the time from 2019 up until the time that you were arrested. And then, like I said, that'll take us through lunch tomorrow, and then we'll be done. I don't have a plan. I didn't know that I was coming here until this week. Okay, so I'm not. There isn't like a. We don't have like a schedule of what happens next or what happens. But that's not a negative thing. I'm just saying that's so you shouldn't take the lack of a next step as anything other than we don't have a next step yet. So.
May I say something?
Of course, yes.
I just would like to put out there that I also focused on how I think the president got swept into some of this, unnecessarily, by the way. And
so, just summing up for the danger, I can see that my volume is not going any. Look, my volume's. Don't worry about my volume. We'll mess with my volume another time. Ghislaine Maxwell, at the end of today's session, for a bit of summing up, has decided, can we just make sure that I say my bit about Donald Trump not being involved in any of this? Like, for crying out loud.
So So you shouldn't take the lack of a next step as anything other than we don't have a next step yet. So.
May I say something?
Of course, yes.
I just would like to put out there that I also focused on how I think the president got swept into some of this, unnecessarily, by the way. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I certainly don't subscribe to all of everything that I see, but I do believe that there is animus in some areas that may have contributed to how the use of the president to harm him, that I find deeply offensive.
There's animus in some parties, in some departments. And like, she's basically saying that some people are angry and they might have used the president, but Donald Trump can't be the one. Like, what? They might have used the president's name. Like, she's been very weird about that as well.
And whilst I can't obviously say definitively that is what it is, I would like to show you what I see so that you can evaluate it and do with that as you see fit, if it needs to be addressed. I've seen it. It struck me, and I would like to give it to you for what it's worth.
Battery 80%.
Does that seem something that I can...
That's fine. Yeah, of course.
I don't like that.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. That's great. Okay, so why don't we stop for today? I'll give you a little bit of time to chat, and then see you in the morning.
Thanks, Tom. Great.
So whatever it is she wanted to talk to them about then is not going to go on the record, though. She's seen something she wants to put forward, but she can't talk about it on record, so they'll stop for the day and they'll get that. But she's talking about Trump. She's talking about Trump. Yeah, I don't know. Don't worry about my mic. If it's gone on all stream, it's happened all stream. We'll address it for the next stream, and we'll see like if they do a break now. Hang on.
This will conclude the recorded proffer interview for Thursday, July 24th. We will continue tomorrow, Friday, July 25th. The time is 3:34.
So that's good for me as well, because I want to watch Birmingham City play football in 15 minutes. So it gives us 2 hours left on this, and that's one solid chunk of stream, isn't it? We'll do 2 hours stream tomorrow, at least 2 hours. I did say if we get 50 likes on this, I'll do Peter Folding by the end of the week. We're not getting 50 likes on this. So Peter Folding by the end of the week is in jeopardy. So if you're watching this back later, hit the like, because Peter Folding by the end of the week, huh? Do you want to see what Scott's got to say about Peter Folding's sonar? I think you already know what I'm going to say about Peter Folding's sonar. But we will have to review what he's put out there in the media, just because the Peter Folding, Nicola Bulley story has been extensively covered by me, so I might as well cover it if he's going to start talking in the media, isn't it? So that's, contingent on like. It's not contingent on likes. I'm going to do it anyway. Aren't I? But yeah, reconvene tomorrow for this. I'll probably run this a little bit earlier tomorrow, so we make sure we get it all done. And I'll probably be on Twitch a little bit later to chit chat and chill. And then Peter Folding by the end of the week. So Wednesday tomorrow, this Thursday Peter Folding, and then onward ever onward. I'll try and fit some like proper scheduled Super Chuffer for You video game streams in as well. I'll try and do that. Blues, I'm gonna go and watch them. You have been good. If you can't be good, you're naughty. Sorry, it's a little bit of a short one. Some people might prefer that. Some juicy stuff though, some interesting stuff. She can't help but throw it out. She can't help it, can she? And I'll just play a random strange song that makes me look like an idiot about myself at the end. And I'll put some fantastic artificial intelligence pictures. While you see the artificial intelligence pictures go past, if you'd like any to be added to the reel, if you've got any ideas, put them in chat. I'll add them. I'll make them. I'll add them. You might see them on the reel. You be good. Thank you for being here. If you can't be good, you're naughty.